I wanted to demonstrate some diodes in action. I wanted to let you guys see what's actually happening with diodes and what we can do with them. And we'll talk about why all of these things work the way that they do, but right now I just want to show you them in action. So there are kind of three categories of diodes that I like to look at. One is the diodes that actually produce light, like this guy, and or they also deal with light as well. So light goes in and you get voltage out, which is pretty cool. And the other is actually diodes that we put in circuits. Circuits that require that current only goes one way or the other. And I will show you an example of that. And there are lots of different kinds. Actually, there's this is a bridge circuit with a bunch of diodes in it and whatever that does. And this is actually called a flyback diode, and we'll take a look at what that does. But for now, let's just take a look at this LED and see if we can blow it up. Yeah. So I guess the most important part here that you have to learn from this particular example is that, dude, you always have to have a resistor. You can't not use a resistor. So right now we have a certain amount of current being drawn by this diode. And what I'm going to do is actually going to remove the resistor and we'll see what happens. I have lots of diodes, so I don't mind blowing one up. So I'm actually just going to take this guy out here and watch the current as I put this in and watch the light at the same time and go. Now see how bright that light is? It's too bright. And it's supposed to be blowing up, but maybe I don't have enough voltage. Wait, let's blow it up. Wait. Okay, oh, it got bad. Oh, it's going to break. Okay, now it's gone. It's pretty much gone. So the problem is that it's still working. It stopped. Okay. The problem is it does not like to be a load. You absolutely have to put a resistor in series with your LED. And we'll do the calculations for that later. Okay, now, diode bridge. Very cool thing. So diodes, actually, one thing I want to show you is, let's just take a look at this. So diodes, as you know, current can only go one way with them. So right now, I have my function generator, and I've got my scope, and I'm seeing a waveform there. But let's do this. Let's actually watch the waveform through this diode, see what happens. Ready? Look at that. It's like half of it's gone. Because we know that this shows the negative side, and this is not going to show the negative side. So that's pretty cool. So that's what's going on. Now this other thing, which is called a diode bridge, is something that we can actually fully rectify. Yeah, that's the proper terminology. I'm going to hook this stuff up, see if it can not blow up. Okay, stay. Bad connector. Okay, this is a diode bridge, and what it does, check this out. I'm going to hook this up properly. Uh-oh. I can smell that. You guys can't smell that, but this stinks. Okay, maybe I should turn that power source off. I'll just do that. Thank you very much. Okay, good. So now what's going on here? Oh, look at that. Oh, it's not really working very well. Oh, is it? Oh, because I don't have it plugged in properly. Okay, here we go. Now check this out. I'm just going to run stop that. Now look at that. That's fully rectified. So essentially the lower part of the AC is being flipped over. I'm not going to tell you how all of that works, but just to let you know, it's happening because diodes, because they're so cool. Okay, now we're going to talk about what I call kind of a third category of diodes, and these are Peltier modules. Peltier modules are pretty cool. They do really interesting things with heat. What happens is there are actually a whole bunch of diodes in here, and I won't tell you how they're hooked up. I'll tell you another time. But they're really cool. I just wanted to demonstrate them. And what's going to happen is that if I run electricity into here, if I run a current through here, I will get a temperature differential. One side will get hot and one side will get cold, and I'll measure that. The other is that, this is really cool, if I put heat on one side and cool on the other, or vice versa, I will actually get voltage. It's pretty cool, and we'll watch that happen here. So this is what we'll do. I'll turn this on, and then I'm going to measure the temperature here. So I'm going to turn this on right now. Before I do, I'm going to tell you what the temperature of this is. This, just believe me here, this is 26.1 on. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. It's going down and down. If I had a heat sink on this side, it would go down more quickly. Now let's see what's going on down here. This is probably pretty hot. 35, 36, averaging out. Oh, it's 37. Oh, it's 40. Oh, it's getting pretty hot. So that's pretty cool. If I put voltage in, I get a temperature differential. Diodes. There's a whole bunch of little diodes in there. Now let's check out this guy. This is cool. If I put a temperature differential on either side of this, right now all I can do is make one side hot, but the other side will be colder than the side that I'm making hot, so I will have a temperature differential. Let me turn this on safely. Okay, I didn't blow anything up, unfortunately. Okay, let's take a look at this. Now, watch, keep your eye on that. I'm gonna heat this up. Let me see, so I can see too. That is so cool. I'm actually generating electricity, and that's because of diodes. Yeah, they're so cool. So it was good to go over diodes with you. I'm sorry I couldn't go into depth. I just wanted to show you guys these things in action.